wandering spirit seeking vengeance.
Greetings, virtual wanderers. Aeon's here. Ghost of Yotei is finally here. And yes, your backlog just got even more impossible. If Tsushima was the game that had us glued to the screen until 3 AM, Yotei is the one that makes you cancel weekend plans because suddenly your revenge quests feel more important than real life. Ghost of Tsushima dazzled players back in 2020. A sweeping tale of honor, sacrifice, the beauty of nature, and Jin Sakai's path from samurai to ghost. Since its release, the game has become iconic, praised for its combat, its open-world design, its setting, and its cinematic quality. Now its successor, Ghost of Yotei, has finally launched a few days ago on October 2nd, 2025. Developed by the folks at Sucker Punch, and published by Sony exclusively for the PS5, which begs the question, why? Ghost of Tsushima was a popular hit, even still translating its popularity to the 4-year later PC port in 2024. It shows that Sony sure loves putting PS exclusivity on its games, but us as fans of the games, not so much. It's unclear when we'll get the PC port for Yotei, but looking at Ghost of Tsushima, the question isn't an if, but more of a when. While it doesn't continue Jin Sakai's story directly, Yotei carries the spirit of its predecessor, more of a spiritual successor than a straight sequel. Before we dive deeper, reviews have already flooded in, and the consensus is strong. Yotei refines many systems from Tsushima, improves the visuals, widens the tools in the player's hands. Yet some critics argue that some familiar issues remain. And yes, there's been some controversy around the female protagonist, but despite that, the game still has a mostly positive consensus overall. So what open world mechanics exactly have changed in the successor of the series? Is it world design, side activities, or customization? Let's break them down. Back in Ghost of Tsushima, the story followed a clear path. You unlock regions step by step, with Jin's rebellion against the Mongols unfolding in a set order. Side activities give you freedom around the edges, but the main story was still linear. You couldn't just storm the final boss whenever you wanted. This is where Ghost of Yotei shakes things up. From the start, you're free to choose which of the Yotei 6 to hunt first. Each boss comes with its own region, and tackling them in a different order actually changes how the narrative plays out. It feels closer to Elden Ring than Tsushima, giving you that open-ended freedom to carve your own revenge path and decide when the finale comes. Now when it comes to mini-boss fights in Tsushima, they were usually tied to scripted duels or story missions. The closest thing to mini-boss challenges were Mongol camps and legendary Ronins, fun in bursts, but this often felt more repetitive. Instead of recycling that structure, Yotei layers in bounties. These act as mini-arcs. You storm through an enemy camp first, before finally clashing with a cinematic mini-boss fight at the end. Sometimes you even get to fight the mini-boss straight away. And since bounties pay out in unique gear or money, or both, the reward matches the build-up. When it comes to traversal in Tsushima, it was already stylish back then, thanks to the guiding wind, but the horse itself never changed speed. Long rides across the island could sometimes feel like a slow burn. The new game spices this up with a playful detail. Flower fields. Charge through a patch of flowers and your horse bursts into a temporary sprint. It's not only a speed boost but a reward for exploring the open world landscape, making travel faster and more satisfying. Going into combat in Tsushima was defined by stances, with only the katana and bow as your main weapons. The depth came from switching forms mid-fight to counter spears, shields, or swords. It was all about technique. Now, Atsu's world plays by different rules. She has access to multiple weapon types, dual blades, spears, odachi, you name it. You can even snatch weapons from fallen foes for a temporary change, adding improvisation and personalization to every fight. And thanks to the new disarm system, the chaos cuts both ways. Enemies can knock your weapon away too, forcing you to adapt on the fly. One of these small frustrations in Tsushima was gear management. If you wanted to change from stealth gear to heavy armor, you had to pause and dig through menus mid-mission, breaking the flow. Yotei makes that process seamless. Loadouts let you create multiple builds, maybe a stealth kit, a dual setup, and an exploration set, and swap between them instantly. It's a quality of life change, but it also encourages experimenting with different playstyles instead of sticking to one safe option. Going back to Tsushima, Jin Sakai's journey was a lonely one. Aside from his horse and occasional mission allies, most of Tsushima was spent solo against overwhelming odds. This time, Atsu never walks alone. She's joined by a wolf companion you can name and customize with skills. The wolf can distract enemies, fetch items, or even attack on command. It makes the open world journey feel less lonely and more personal. One of Tsushima's most memorable mechanics was the guiding wind. It replaced waypoints with a natural system that kept the world immersive and the heads-up display uncluttered. Yotei takes that same spirit, but channels it through Atsu's shamisen. Play a melody, and the music subtly pulls you toward your destination. Each melody also directs you toward different types of landmarks, transforming how you explore Yotei's open world. So pay attention to which notes you play. Speaking of points of interest, finding points of interest in Tsushima was a passive and manual process. Climb high, spot landmarks, or let golden birds guide you. It got the job done, but it didn't give much to help the player afterwards. That's where the spyglass comes in Yotei. From a mountain peak or pretty much anywhere, you can scout the horizon, and it'll automatically mark landmarks when you hover over one. It rewards climbing to high ground and makes exploration more strategic. In Tsushima, downtime wasn't really a system of its own. You had hot springs that boosted health, bamboo strikes to increase resolve, and shrines for charms. But when it came to resting or crafting, you had to head back to settlements. In Yotei, camps become an entire feature. You can set up one nearly anywhere, then cook, craft, or even summon merchants and allies. In a way, camps branch out into their own side activities, turning rest into another form of activity when you want a short break from the open world.
I watched that tree burn. How did you escape?
Same way. I survived every battle. The thought of killing you.
So to recap, what are the big open world changes that make Ghost of Yotei stand apart? We've got non-linear gameplay, mini-boss bounties, flower field speed boosts, a wider weapon selection, on-the-fly gear swaps, shamisen guiding, spyglass landmark scouting, and flexible camp setups. On their own, some of these tweaks may seem small, but together they make Yotei feel like a sharper, more refined Ghost experience, possibly even a worthy successor to Tsushima. What do you think? Are these changes enough to put Yotei above Tsushima, or do you think the original still holds the crown? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more deep dives into open world games. That's it for now. I'll catch you in the next one. And until then, happy exploring.